You are tuned into the Green Hornet Case Files, a beacon of truth in a world shrouded in mystery. Unveiling the legacy and cultural significance of one of the greatest crime fighters of all time. Now, let the adventure begin. Here are your hosts, Corey and Greg.
Ooh, nice to be back again.
Green Hornet Case Files Season 2.
Episode 2. There we go. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this one.
Me too. You know, it's funny. We had a little technical difficulty, which is a running gag from our old podcast as well.
Yeah.
And right at the beginning, the Riverside does a actual recording at higher quality. Warning across the screen, and I just read it as actually recording.
Yes, we are actually recording at this point. So here we are, season 2, episode 2, and we've had such great comments and so forth about episode 1.
You know, I think that one kind of, I mean, we had teased it all last season.
Yeah.
That it was, well, not all last, but the majority of it, that it was coming. And so I think people were pleasantly surprised that it actually happened.
I was pleasantly surprised that it actually happened.
She was just so gracious and such a hoot. I loved Mary Kay. She's awesome.
She's really funny. She and I spend, considerable amount of time texting each other back and forth, emailing each other, and she's one of those people that doesn't have an awful lot to say when she does. So it's like, yes.
Right?
I don't know.
She's pretty fantastic. It was a fun episode. And then back to back, we set one up for the future I was wrapped. So that's you got a lot to look forward to, folks.
Yeah, and we've already teased it. So, I mean, people are paying attention. They know that it's going to be Jimmy Key from the episode Praying Mantis of the 66 Green Hornet series. But it kind of went beyond, really beyond.
There was a couple of times during it that Greg was kind of poking at me like, hey, talk. Because I was just mesmerized by what he was saying. It was awesome.
I'm so happy that we had the opportunity of doing that, and just really looking forward to some other things that are getting ready to pop and crack here as we go. Hey, if you have a comment about anything we have to say here, be sure and get in contact with us. Podcast at greenhornet66.com.
We've had a couple of really good ones over the past couple of weeks.
We have. You wanna jump in and read a couple there?
Well, let's see. One that always a good one from Todd Stutz. It was a great show, so kudos to all of you.
Nice.
Super nice. And then David Powell said, "Gentlemen, I've been dipping into the podcast here and there thanks to Jim Beard after talking to him at Pulp Fest. Today it was time to go back and begin at the beginning and catch up. Great stuff. Thank you. I just really became aware of the Hornet a couple of years ago thanks to Win Scott Eckert.
Eckert, yeah.
Mispronounced that. And the World Newton universe. Wold Newton?
I don't know if it's Wold or World.
Yeah. Always behind? That's me. Me too. I'm 62, but I've seen 66. Own and have watched the serials, and I have a number of the books. Let's roll." So thanks, David. Those were all super kind words.
Absolutely. And our good friend Chris Dingsdale, who always jumps in and sends us a note. A delightful episode, fellas. Thanks to you and Mary Kay. Yes, thanks to Mary Kay. The Hornet is in many ways all about legacy, and so this was a perfect opener to your season 2. Appreciate your hard work. Cheers, Chris.
Fantastic. And, she really drove that point home really well, that it is the legacy and what the character stands for. And it was so good. So
very good. Listen, a buddy of mine, a buddy of ours that we've known for quite a while, was out to coffee with the guys with 2047 Productions, which is our film company. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
That may come up later in the episode.
It may come up. And one of the three of us, Nat Signs, we were sitting having coffee this last week, and he said to me, "Hey, I tried to hop on your coffee or Ko-Fi, whatever the heck a thing is." And he says, "I was going to give you, a little something because I listen all the time and I really like your guys' podcast." And he says, "But it doesn't allow me to take PayPal." And so he hands me $20. And I took it.
So if you can get around what Nat couldn't, it is ko-fi.com/Green Hornet Case Files.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's funny. He brought that up because I was walking across the parking lot into a big box electronics store that I won't name check.
Okay.
And out walks a Nat.
Really?
And he's like, "Hey, I love the Hornet Case Files." And I was like, "Thanks, bud."
He has always been such a supporter of everything that I've done over the years. Back in the day when I was doing my Friday Fright TV show, and he was doing a once a month movie night out at a big theater out at our nuclear power reservation, and he would pay us to come out and do the show live from the location. So he's always been very supportive, and I can't thank him enough for that. So I don't have any news. I don't really have any news to pass along. I wished I did. I wished I could say, that the movie was moving forward, that I guess maybe the only news I have is here a few episodes back, we talked about the new book that's coming out, and they were doing the
Detroit Noir.
Yeah, the Detroit Noir, doing the Kickstarter for that. And I did get an email that said that they were in the process of trying to get all that sorted out, that it would be going to press here soon. And so anybody who took advantage of that, you will be getting, notifications that your books will eventually, be mailed. And behind the scenes stuff always takes time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One other bit of news-ish, and you might be able to help me with this a little bit, Corey. I dropped into our local comic book store that you and I used to do a podcast for.
Right.
And I spoke with one of our mutual friends about the latest issue of the Green Hornet and Miss Fury.
Yes.
Which has not come out yet. Actually, it's out. It has not landed in stores yet because of, according to our friend Travis, something to do with Dynamite being sold and issues going on there. Do you know of what I speak?
I don't.
Okay.
I this apparently has slipped by me.
Well, I'm tasking you with figuring it out.
I'll get to the bottom of it.
Moving forward, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been very slow about shipping, I understand. I'm told that Dynamite was always kind of difficult anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
But now, I don't know.
Did he say who they got sold to?
No.
Interesting. I will get to the bottom of this.
So,
A quick aside.
Little Google foo there. Yes, quick aside.
Earlier this week, I sent you a song.
The Wu-Tang?
I did. I sent you a Wu-Tang song.
I
know it's not your jam, but did you listen?
I did.
And?
Again, it's not my jam, but I got behind it, man.
You caught it right away?
Yeah.
Wu-Tang on their Legendary Weapons album sampled the Hornet intro for a song called Live Through Death. And I have a feeling that I'm probably not in the majority as a hip hop fan amongst our listeners, but that's okay. If any of you are or even willing to dabble, give it a listen. It's worth seeking out. It's a really good use of the Hornet theme.
All right, and it's called what again?
Live Through Death, and it's on the album Legendary Weapons.
Live Through Death. All right, so that's another one of those little aside things. We talked about that last season, about some of the little things that pop up, hither thither, that kind of get past you if you're not careful.
Well, and it's funny is I've heard the Wu-Tang use a different Green Hornet sample.
Mm-hmm.
That we talked about in an episode of peripheral Hornet references,
right?
But this one was one it had slipped by me, and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to send this to Greg.
Wow, yeah. I was jamming on that. That's fun. And again, Wu-Tang not my thing, but yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That's awesome. Good. I'm glad.
And with that in mind, of keeping the Hornet alive in whatever way it happens to be, I wanted to talk this go around, episode 2 of season 2. I wanted to talk a little bit about those attempts by fans to keep the Hornet alive in the realm of the short films. And we've had part of this discussion already.
Right.
So it's interesting. I mean, that there are a few people out there that have decided to take on the Green Hornet as a short fan film. And we talked obviously about the French film.
Right. It's 2010.
And Le Frilon Vert.
Yes.
If my French, doesn't fail me. And we've had conversation with the director of the film and with the stunt coordinator of the film. And in fact, the stunt coordinator was also, didn't he play the role of Brit? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Correct.
And we've tried to get the guys on. They want to do the show. We're just trying to, it's France. It's like 9 hours difference. So
right.
Their daytimes are nighttime, et cetera, et cetera. So
it's made it challenging.
Yes. But one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting, and I'm going to have to figure out if I can do this or not, is the director, Aurelien, sent me the best clean copy of the Green Hornet French film,
which I still have not gotten to see.
I didn't share it with you?
No.
Bad on me.
You told me you had it, but no, it hadn't. I have not witnessed it yet.
I do have it. And I'm going to reach out to him to see if we can go ahead and post at least a link somehow to that, maybe on our YouTube channel of some sort.
That would be super, super cool.
Because it is considerably better than the poor quality that is out there. And that was a decent film. I mean, they did a really nice job, a lot of action.
It's on par with it's the best of fan made, in my opinion. I mean, it's really up there with like, what's the Troops? Have you ever seen Troops?
Yeah, I sure have.
The cops knockoff of Star Wars. It's pretty fantastic. There's some great fan made stuff out there, and I would put that with, it stands with all of those.
I think so. I just became aware of another fan film that I have not seen. I do not know an awful lot about it. It was done in 2011, so we're talking 14 years ago. Just called The Green Hornet Still at Large.
What? What is this?
I don't know. And it's supposedly director Chris Notarile, Notarile, Chris Notarile.
Okay.
Going to have to do a little. I tried to do some YouTube foo, and I didn't see it.
Okay.
So
How did you come across it then?
Something called Chat GPT.
Of course. Of course.
It actually, I asked it, are there any others besides? And it popped up a handful.
That's awesome.
It says it's a tribute short film exploring the mythos of the Green Hornet. Says he's known for fan shorts and pulp and comic characters.
We got to get a hold of this guy.
So we're going to have to do a little bit of work out there to find that.
If any of you are familiar with this podcast at greenhornet66.com, let us know.
We'd love to hear it. We'd love to be able to get our hands on it at some point in time. So,
Chris, if you're listening.
Yes, Chris. Then number 3 on the list is the Green Hornet Reimagined, a 2016 concept short. And again, it said it has been circulated in YouTube fan film circles and used as a proof of concept, but I don't know an awful lot about it from there.
This one's another new one to me.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where some of this stuff is from. Whether it doesn't exist anymore on YouTube or whether it needs to be, dug out. I didn't have time this afternoon before we jumped in to, do some digging on that.
Yeah. Get some deep dives going and finding these things.
Yeah. Green Hornet Reimagined from 2016. And there's no names attached to it. It just says directors, says various creators. I don't know. Again, this is Chat GPT, so it could very well be, FUBAR. I don't know.
It's funny because in the details it says pitch style short imagining, pitch style short, imagining a darker, more serious Hornet. How do you do that?
I don't know.
He was the darker, more serious character.
Well, there is that part. Maybe
That's
this
so
one
funny.
is less about, not killing or something. Maybe he's more about,
It's the Snyder cut.
Yeah, there you go. It's the Snyder cut. Yeah. Let me look at something here real quick. Short films. Supposedly, fan film. Okay, well, I'm not there yet. So, all right, I'll keep going here.
Okay.
And it did come up with some other things. 2021 fan film trailer called Green Hornet Legacy. And this was done by an India-based fan group. Didn't know there was one.
Cool.
And it says teaser-style short imagining a generational Hornet story, not a full film, but pitched as a serialized idea.
That's I don't know why. Without the, as much as we've talked about the French film, I didn't even think about other international iterations.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily think of that sometimes. You feel like, it's Batman. Batman's an American creation. It's all American. Superman, it's all American.
Right. It's Amera-centric.
Yeah. So, again, another one I don't know really anything about. I guess I could Google it here, real quick. And
we're going to have to do a part 2 of this episode.
Yeah.
When we have a chance to follow up on these.
I'm guessing we're going to have to try and do that. Yeah, I just hit it and trying to scope it out, and it doesn't come up. I don't think. There actually it does. The Green Hornet Legacy film. It's 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Should we take a quick break?
I have seen this. Oh,
you have seen it.
I take it back. I have seen it.
Okay.
And it is, again, it's an old Green Hornet. And, it's Green Hornet in the future kind of thing. So, okay. So it is out there. I will make a note of that and put it in show notes. If
Absolutely.
People want to check it out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Number 5 says it's unreleased, but there's something called Green Hornet Darkest Hour. A short planned in 2018, but only concept art and behind the scenes footage have surfaced. Don't know anything about it.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I wonder where if we can find that concept art.
Yeah, I don't know. I just Google food on it, and it does not come up with anything. So, at least on YouTube, it doesn't. So, there we are, number 5. And that is the list that I had from ChatGPT, other than the Kevin Smith unofficial pitch reel that he supposedly did for the nobody knows whatever happened to the animated Green Hornet. But I don't know that it's out there anyplace.
Oh, man. I'd give anything for that.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. I want a Green Hornet Batman the Animated Series style animated series. Like, my goodness.
Wouldn't that be incredible? Yeah. Also, the Green Hornet Redo, REDUX, pitch concept from 2004, a minute-long proof of concept reel shown at fan expos. Very little information survives online. It was meant to reboot the character in a modern setting.
Which we've gone back and forth on how that works.
Yeah. The only other one that I know of,
and you may know a little bit about.
Well, no. I'm going to interject another, is Mike Kelly, who has been doing this animated.
Oh, the animated one. I
version,
loved that.
Of the Green Hornet. And Mike wants to be on the show. We need to get Mike on the show to talk about what drove him to. I mean, he does a lot of Bruce Lee kind of stuff. In fact, what his hang on here. I gotta Google foo again here. Mike Kelly, Green Hornet. Here we go.
Okay.
So Mike's YouTube channel is Kung Fu Comics. Mike Kelly, and if you haven't watched it yet, go find it.
We did do a bit of a review of it on a former episode.
Yeah, and it is. I would consider it pretty danged awesome. So that's one everybody should go check out.
Well, and that's just going back. That's what we want. That we've been begging for.
Yeah,
we got to get it. We got to get it in front of Mary.
Actually, this is a side that we will discuss here real quick. Is part of my conversations with Mary after we did the podcast was, how do we get the Hornet back in front of the public with something? And the whole thing has been thrown out again about why isn't the series, why isn't the 66 TV series out on DVD? And conversations are being had. She sent an email then to David Grace, the lawyer who represents Green Hornet Inc. And here's the truth. Everybody's been asking about it. Why isn't there? Why isn't there? Why isn't there? Well, number one, it's money. There has to be money someplace. Somebody has to make money off of it. But the conversations that were being had at the time with Disney officials and the folks from the TV studio, those were done a long time ago, to the point where all those people that they were having conversations with have moved on.
Yeah.
And those conversations have been lost. So it's a matter of if this is something that is actually viable. And, how many copies realistically could they sell? 500 to 1,000 maybe. Is that worth the money that it would take to go in and do a complete restoration? I got to believe that it's not.
Well, I mean, it kind of, I think there should be, even if it is a limited run, physical media, but it needs to be remastered to be put on streaming.
Yeah, because nobody's buying DVDs anymore.
And, well, I mean, we'd buy it, but that's not the point.
Yeah, again, the point is, how many copies, how many physical copies could you sell?
Right. But that same investment at the initial investment to remaster for said physical release, you could take that same product and put it on a streaming service.
Exactly.
And I have to imagine that those would get at least some attention.
I'd like to think so.
Do you know who put out the Batman 66 DVDs?
No.
Okay.
And that's a good question. That's a good question to follow up on.
Because you have companies like Shout Factory that does lots of classic releases, and they always seem to find a home for stuff. Like, it seems like we need to get those kind of people involved.
Sure.
Or Film Detective.
Film Detective. There's an interesting thought.
Right.
I worked with those folks a few years ago on my old TV series. It was sold here a while back to somebody else, but I think they're still kind of doing the same thing. So yeah, same basic idea.
Yeah.
Well, that's a conversation. But again, I every other day I get an email that says, or a comment someplace that says, why can you find out why isn't the DVD, the old series out on DVD? And that's the answer. Is because the people that had been having the conversation are not there any longer. The conversation was dropped. It needs to be picked back up again. And does it make financial sense to put it out on a DVD, a physical media, or more sense to make it available as a stream somehow?
I can't help but wonder if having the Lee family involved could generate more interest in getting it done, but at the same time, like, now's the time to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2026 is next year. It'd be the perfect time to put out an anniversary edition of the 66 series.
Yes, it would. So there's a much bigger conversation to be had there. It has been at least broached at this point. I have been privy to some of the emails that have been sent back and forth, and that's the answer. That's the answer at this moment. And whether that changes tomorrow or next week or next month, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And I maybe already said more than I should, but I thought people deserved an answer.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We do have one more thing that it's been looming, casting a big green shadow.
Looming is a good word. Looming. The Hornet has been looming in the background. It's probably been a good year now.
Easily, yeah. Since
the inception, that I started, again, I work with these other two fellas, 2047 Productions. You can go to 2047 Productions. It's not .com, it's the other one.
Net?
Yeah, .net. And you can see all the different films that we have done in the last few years. I've written some of them. I've been in some of them. Mostly I do music and sound. but this was one that was a love story for me. And we called it Requiem for a Hornet.
Which is a fantastic name for it.
Thank you. Not everybody agreed with that.
Well,
so,
it's once people see it, they'll understand.
You've got to understand. Yeah. It will work for you. It's a short film that I wrote. Had a little help with bits and pieces, hither thither. My wife throws things out, and she's like, "No, don't do that." Okay. It's a film that explores aging, and we all are. We're all getting a little older. I turned 67 here a while back, and while I'm not as old as some of you, I'm older than a lot of you, and it's very apparent that, I'm in retirement years, and decades after retiring as the Green Hornet, Britt Reed is confronted with his legacy and what his fight has always been. So,
and it is a wonderful exercise in that. What does it mean when you fought for something and you feel like it was all for naught? That sometimes you get a thread of something that pulls through.
It does. And that happens in life so very often. We ask those questions sometimes. Did anything I did in my life ever matter? Did it make a difference someplace? And that's the question that gets asked in Requiem for a Hornet. And we've talked about this off and on now for the better part of 4 or 5 months.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's been great about, geez, Martin, what? Keep talking about this.
Do you think that maybe somewhere where we might be able to see it?
If you go right now to https:// where we I'm going to do the whole thing. greenhornet66.com. Click on the link at the top that says Requiem. Or you can go directly to greenhornet66.com/Requiem. And I don't know if there's an extra slash on the end of it, but just go to greenhornet66.com. And up in the upper right-hand corner, there's the navigation, and it says Requiem up there. Click on that. Scroll down to the big Requiem for a Hornet poster.
Which looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you. And big thanks to our buddy who always does artwork for us and has done so many cool things for us, Mr. Randy Saffel. And
it came out awesome.
Yeah, he outdid himself, I think, with this. But click on that, and it will take you to our YouTube channel. It's not a public video, so this is only for you Hornet fans that you can go check out Requiem for a Hornet.
Just by clicking on the poster.
Click on the poster. How much easier can it be than that?
I'm excited that you're finally getting to put it out.
Well, I am too. Both my other partners in this, Nat Signs and Randy Labarge, who have been really good about putting up with my weird ideas sometimes. And
well, I was trying to get you to put it as just an Easter egg somewhere. I'm not good at public releases, apparently.
I figured we've been teasing it long enough. I didn't want to tease it any further than I had to. But we were sitting at coffee the other morning, and they're like, "So, has anybody said anything? What do they think? Do they think about it?" So there it is. Go to greenhornet66.com and click on the link that says Requiem, in the upper right-hand corner, and it will take you to the poster. Click on the poster. That will take you to the YouTube channel. I'm sorry, they have to take from here to here to here to here. But then please, by all means, leave a message. We would love to know what you think of it. Now, it's not going to win any massive, it's not going to win, an Academy Award, or it's not going to go to Sundance and, be the belle of the ball. And I'm not the best actor in the world. But it's a lot of love.
The point is, it is a labor of love, and it's got a ton of heart in place of a budget.
Whoa, what was that word you used?
Nope, you don't concern yourself with that. But absolutely, leave a comment on the video itself, and also drop us a line, podcast@greenhornet66.com. Let us know that you had took what, 11 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that to watch.
Yeah, it's a short, so it's less than 15. So, if you've got 11 and a half minutes, sit down and watch the show. I had so much fun writing this, and I had a great amount of fun acting in it as Britt Reed. And I wound up doing all the music for the thing, which I had a lot of fun playing with the Hornet theme. It's not really the Hornet theme because you got to be careful about all the copyright stuff, but yet it's reminiscent of, and I just had a wonderful time doing it.
And for you super attentive fans out there, Greg stuck some pretty cool Easter eggs in there.
Yes, I did.
Some really, really cool little wink and nods.
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, lovely little Easter eggs inside the show that most Green Hornet fans, if you're a really good fan, you'll pick up on. That was one of the.
If you're a really good fan, you're probably going to be like, well, "That's not an Easter egg. That's just the thing."
That's just it. Yeah. But there's some of the Easter eggs. There's Easter eggs on top of the Easter egg.
Yes.
So that's one of the things, and we'll talk about this the next episode once everybody's had a chance to get out and check it out. And I'm just stoked. I'm jazzed.
Yeah, man. It's excited. It's super exciting. And I'm excited to hear what people have to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some friends of mine that have seen it, that have given me their opinions, and some of it was, I really liked it, with the exception that there's always that caveat someplace. You should have done this. Well, maybe.
Yeah, but we didn't. So
yeah. Next time when we make this movie, you write it, and Exactly. Yeah. Podcast at greenhornet66.com. I'd love to hear your comments about Green Hornet Requiem for a Hornet.
And if you like Requiem for a Hornet, you can go to ko-fi.com/Green Hornet Case Files and fund the sequel.
I like that idea. We could have a budget.
Shh, don't get cocky now.
Don't get cocky, kid. That was my one May the 4th.
That's your Star Wars reference for the week.
Star Wars reference for the week. Yeah.
Real quick, since you did take us on a side tangent, real quick, little green related. My Portland Timbers are playing for the U.S. Cup right now. I'm very excited.
Well, and we're keeping you from that, so I'm sorry for that.
No.
What?
I said no. We're good.
No. All right. Good. ko-fi.com. Yeah. Coffee or ko-fi.com. Green Hornet Case Files. And, we'd just love, if you like what we're doing, throw us a little coffee money or something along those lines. And again, I would love to hear your comments about the whole episode, all the different things. If you know of another short film or animated,
any of the ones we brought up that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, by all means, let us know about it. We would love to talk about that. I'd just love to see an awful lot more Hornet stuff out there.
I feel like it's coming. We're getting there.
I think there is.
Let the Requiem be the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I think there is a future. I do think there is a future here for the Green Hornet, and I'm looking forward to some of the things like what Mike Kelly is doing, and what the guys with Moonstone Books are doing, and everybody is working to try and keep the Hornet alive as much as possible. Mary Kay doing things as best she can from where she's sitting to be able to keep that alive, and that's wonderful.
And then they're kind enough to talk to two schmucks about it.
two schmoes sitting here in a little room.
Exactly.
A room within a room. So, all right. I think that's going to wrap things up for us.
Seems like a good point.
I think so. Anything more, and I feel like I'm going to be beating a dead hornet at this point. So
that sounds dangerous.
You get that reference there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. A podcast at greenhornet66.com. If you want to check out Requiem for a Hornet, go to greenhornet66.com. Click on the link in the upper right-hand corner of the menu up there, and you can check out. Oh, you have to take that to the next page. Click on the poster. So I could have made it a lot easier, I suppose, couldn't I?
No, I like clicking on the poster, and then it just goes to it. It's awesome.
Clicking on it. That's right.
It works. It works well.
Oh, good. All right, fans, we love you. We appreciate you listening, and all the wonderful things that you say about it. We can't thank you enough for your support, and we'd love some coffee.
I like it. You know what we should do?
What should we do?
Let's roll.
As the night envelops the city once more, our journey through the hidden alleys of history and valor comes to a close. You've been riding shotgun with the Green Hornet Case Files, where the echoes of the past meet the voices of the present. Tune in again for the next thrilling adventure, where shadows speak, secrets unfold, and the legacy of the Green Hornet continues to inspire. The Green Hornet Case Files is a Grail Productions podcast. The Green Hornet is owned exclusively by Green Hornet, Inc. Until next time, vigilant listeners, keep your wits sharp and your spirit unbreakable.